Namaste everyone. Namaste from Rotaract Club of Dombivli Suncity. I would like to wish you on behalf of our club happy Independence Day to Malaysia. And we are so glad that we got this opportunity to host you on this special occasion of yours.
So firstly, I would like to know what significance does this day hold, and also why is 31st August important for you guys? That's a basic question. So yes.
Does anyone want to answer, Yuvanish? Could you maybe try answering?
Personally, growing up, Merdeka is like that day that all the kids would enjoy, because normally in schools we would definitely celebrate Merdeka, which involves a lot of food, partying, and more food and more partying, and then we will sing a lot of what do you call it, patriotic songs, and we will wave Malaysia flags and we scream at each other and run around the hall. Yeah, it's like definitely, that's your childhood. That's in every Malaysian's childhood. If you don't have that, are you even Malaysian? No. Because no matter whether if you're in international school or like in a private school or government school, we will still celebrate, because it's something that is very special to us. It's something that we grew up with, and it's weird not celebrating it. Like for instance, now I'm already in college. This year's my first year of college, and then because due to COVID and at the same time I'm in college, so there's no more celebrations. So I ended up singing in the car just now on the way home. Full blast. Yeah. So yeah.
We got the answer. Yeah. Other than that, like how it was celebrated earlier and how it is celebrated now, is there any difference between the time period, like how it was celebrated earlier and how it is celebrated now? Is there any difference, or is it the same way that you celebrate it yet?
Okay, so Merdeka, which means freedom. We got the freedom from the countries that colonized our country from British, which is the last country that colonized our land. So back then, our first prime minister was Tunku Abdul Rahman. He shouted, not he shouted, he's like, he said like Merdeka 7 times. So that is one of the iconic moment where he said this Merdeka, this term, for 7 times at the Stadium Merdeka, which is somewhere in KL, in front of thousands of people. And at that time was surrounded by all the multiracial people, and then the kings from the British and from other countries as well. So back then it was like quite, how to say, it's like quite simple but yet fully energetic. But after that, after like a few years, so they started to do like a parade, so as like other countries as well. So this is what we call like Merdeka parade, where the army and the police, those who are serving the nations, they will pay respect to the king, to the prime minister, and those people who are at the higher position in the government. So they will like like march, like everyone can witness the parade. So everyone will be like marching and then giving respect, salute them, and then they'll be like giving medals to those who did good, like they are like doing a kind deed. And then for those and for today, I came to notice that for the first time, for the first time in my experience, the king actually ruled out the sentence for 5 of the prisoners who are used, like they were sentenced to death before this, for their crime that they did. So for the first time in Malaysia's history, the king ruled out the sentence so that they are given second chance to prove themselves who they are, so that they can repay the mistake and do good to the country. So it is like one of the good things that are happening in Malaysia right now.
Okay, thanks,
But
thanks.
basically they just do the parade,
Mhm.
and then there'll be like before like the eve of the Merdeka night, the Independence Day, there will be like everyone will be like gathering at the Stadium Merdeka or any iconic landmarks in each of the state, and there will be like explosive, like you know, the firecrackers, explosive, like to wait for the countdown, and they'll be like doing that. So everyone will be like shouting Merdeka, everyone will be like very excited and energetic. So
There
like
is an
So
iconic
even
place, Merdeka Square, in Malaysia, right?
yeah,
Merdeka Square.
that is the place where our first prime minister Tunku Abdul Rahman said the word Merdeka for 7 times in
Mm-hmm.
front of everyone and back then.
Yeah, in
so is
1950s.
that done even now? Like
That is currently the current prime minister. During the parade time, he will say that word lah for 7 times. So it is still practiced until now, and I think it will be practiced for the future as well. They will never do this because it is like one of the most iconic moment, and they will never abolish that or something. They won't do that. So it is like one
interesting.
of a proud moment for us.
Nice. Yuvanesh shared something really interesting. So I would like really want to know some more interesting facts like, about Malaysia in general.
Malaysia in generally. So we all know that Malaysia is a multiracial country. So back then, not only our first prime minister that fought for our independence, there's actually a lot of people, a lot of how to say the armies or all those who serve the nations. And I actually wanted to point out other two of the people which is a really close acquaintance to Tunku Abdul Rahman, which is Tun Sambatan, and another one is Love. Can you help me? Another one, Tun Sambatan. I forgot what his name.
Tun
Hussein
Tan Cheng
on.
Lock.
Is it?
Tun
National
Tan
Hussein.
Cheng Lock. Thank you, Anis. Tun Tan Cheng Lock. So Tunku Abdul Rahman, Tun Sambatan, and Tun Tan Cheng Lock is one of the main persons who really helped Malaysia in getting the independence. They really work hard. Like for example, in India as well, you have Mahatma Gandhi. You have a few other people that helped to get independence. Just like this, these three main figures are really the key in getting independence to our country. So they really actually the way that they fought is not like a war or by colonizing other country. No, it's just like a diplomatic rule where they sign each other that we need independence, and that's how the prime minister of Malaysia they get independence from the British. So actually back then when we are getting independence, Singapore was part of our country, which is Malaysia.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Singapore was actually was colonized back then by British. But then the prime minister approached our prime minister, which is Tunku Abdul Rahman, so that they can get freedom as well. So at that point, Malaysia made an agreement that Singapore will be in our country under Malaysia. So that's how it happened, and then Singapore got the freedom from Malaysia and from the British as well. And if I'm not mistaken, at 1965, Singapore had a clash with Malaysia, and they divided apart. And now Malaysia is another country, and Singapore is another country. So they are apart. They are not in together in the country. So that's how
Yeah,
it
maybe if I
happened.
could just add to that, I think the Malaysia and Singapore had a difference in opinion of like which part should be the capital of the country, and that's how, if I'm not mistaken, that's how Singapore and Malaysia decided to split into two different countries. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, you finish.
So yeah, and if you notice that there's in Malaysia, there's actually two parts, which is West Malaysia and East Malaysia. So at that time, the West Malaysia, I mean, the East Malaysia was considered as not in Malaysia, from Malaysia. So during 1963, which is at 16th of September, we will call it at Hari Malaysia. Hari Malaysia is a day where the East Malaysia countries such as Sabah and Sarawak, they joined together with the west side of the state and became as one country, which is Malaysia. So now Sabah Sarawak is considered under Malaysia, which is one country. But they are separated as like different state. It is more towards to Brunei or Borneo, yeah, kind of that side.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to know?
I think that's that we got to know today.
Yeah, if you dig up like our past during our colonization day, it's really, really huge.
Do you have any club project on this day related to this Independence Day?
Well, initially we did wanted to do something with Merdeka, but the thing is we have actually a lot of projects lined up already. So that kind of played a role in us not wanting to overflow everything. And secondly, as of 2020, there are still, despite being a multiracial country, I'm not going to sugarcoat, but there are still a lot of racism issues. As you know, the three main the races here are Chinese, Malays, and Indians. And there's still a lot of dividing, but I think in 2020 it has become more prominent and brought in more awareness to it. So if I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people don't feel the Merdeka this year. It feels like we're going backwards. Yeah, so it doesn't feel right to celebrate the year where where minorities, which is the Chinese and Indians, are not being treated as well as the majorities. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why you don't see as huge celebrations as you would see as compared to other years, because the social issues and the politics right now in our country is not doing the best, and the whole COVID thing is really not helping as well. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's a little bit sad this year.
Okay, so for Malaysia, we are famous with our food. We have tons delicious food. So one of the iconic one would be Nasi Lemak. I'm pretty sure. Have you guys heard of it, Nasi Lemak? So Nasi
No,
Lemak
no.
is a really traditional food in Malaysia. So it is made of coconut milk and rice, and then you have sambal with the spiciness of it, and together it combines together as nasi lemak. So nasi lemak is really common that you can see everywhere in Malaysia. People normally eat nasi lemak as breakfast, lunch, dinner, even supper. Basically, anytime you can eat nasi lemak. And then besides that, in Penang, there's really famous food as like char kway teow and laksa as well. Char kway teow is just noodles. I don't know how to describe it, but it's different type of noodles. Then you just fried it together with eggs, and then some are fried with salted eggs. Then you have other like tauge altogether. It's really hard to describe the flavor because it can either be spicy or non-spicy, but it's mostly a bit of salty as well. And then for laksa, it's definitely spicy food. Laksa, the soup is made out with a lot of spices and it cooks up to a really long time. And then together, people eat it with like mint, peppermint. So it's a bowl of noodles, soup, the peppermint as well. Yeah. And
Many
then
of many of us
Mhm.
many of us are non-veg food lovers. So, is there any special non-veg food?
I think I can add that. I think I can add that. Hold on. So if you visit Malaysia, Penang is a must. Like we consider Penang is a food heaven, food iconic places. But if in Malaysia we say Penang, it's food. So for those who are like non-vegetarian or like you really like the meat kind of food or that, so I suggest you our iconic food would be nasi kandar. Nasi kandar is like a popular northern side of Malaysian dish, which basically originates from Penang. It was very famous by the Tamil Muslim traders from India. So back then, during the around 70s, 60s, that area, that age. So these people, the traders from India, so they came here, and when they came here, they don't bring a cook or someone who know how to cook. So when they came to Malaysia, they just simply hire a person just to cook for them so that they can feed a lot of people. And actually, when they came here, they did some kind of settlement so that they don't have to like, because you know that at that time you can't simply go back to India to Malaysia. You have to wait like for a few months until the monsoon reach. Until the monsoon season happened. So at that time they'll be like hire a person to cook, and when they cook this food, they will bring they will put like in a pot, some kind of wooden pot, and they will put on the shoulder, and they'll bring from house to house or from a settlement to a settlement, and that's how they feed other people. Like they will sell the food while they have their food, on a stick with like, how to say, like a wooden stick, and there's like two basket full of food, and they'll be like holding on your shoulder, and they'll bring it around the settlement, and they'll sell the food. So that's how they call it a nasi kanda. Kanda means the action where you take the wooden stick and put on the shoulder and you bring the food. So they really, and like they really like the food because it is like full of flavor. As you can see, nasi kanda is mainly about spices. You can either go for plain or mild, but it is best to go with spicy because it is served with a variety of curries and side dishes. Oh my god. Especially if you came to Penang, if you go to nasi kanda, please say kuah banje. Kuah banje which means mix of curries. It's a fragrant rice. They will put mixed curry, which means like they'll put dal, they'll put chicken, fish, mutton curry, beef curry, everything. They'll mix up all the curry. They put it on top. Lady finger, salted egg, and a fried chicken. It's complete. It's heaven. You really can try that. If you came to Malaysia, Penang is the best choice for
I
you.
can see
What do you call it?
Lydia
Kuah
getting
panji.
excited there.
What?
I can see people drooling,
Wow.
Okay, so
just thinking about the description he's giving.
Wow.
Vanesh, do you have anything else to add?
No, you can add.
Okay, so there's this very interesting food which is mainly a Chinese cuisine, but then I believe it's quite similar to masala chai.
Nasi Lemak.
Yes.
Masala chai.
Yes. Okay. So it's actually pronounced as lei cha. So that is a Chinese pronunciation, lei cha. In Cantonese, it's lui cha. So it's actually, literally, if you translate it directly, it's called thunder tea. Lei is thunder, cha is tea. So it's actually it's based is the custom of it is actually way back until the Three Kingdoms period. You guys, you know Three Kingdoms? Chinese history lah, Chinese history. Very long time ago. Okay, very long time ago. So it's actually how is it similar to masala? It's actually they mix tea and spices together, but for Chinese it is more commonly that they use herbs. So it's also a concoction of two different type of things, and then normally it's actually used as a dietary brew so that drink it for health purposes. But as the time goes by, it became more and more it's different, and then suits our what do you call that, modern lifestyle. So they add they add meat now and tofu, so there's both vegetarian and both non-vegetarian choices. And then it's normally tea leaves, and then roasted nuts, and then peanuts, mung beans, sesame, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I'm totally reading this off Wikipedia. and then herbs like ginger, and then herbal medicine, which is normally some Chinese people might add it into it. So it's both like both food and both medicine. And then nowadays when you go to those kopitiam, those shops, normally they will serve it with rice, and then alongside with greens, as in vegetable tofu, pickled radish, and then normally it's like brown rice. It's like a healthy thing. And then some places might be more savory, some places might serve it more sweet. So yes, that one is very interesting because it reminds me of Indian masala chai.
What is pomelo?
What is what?
Pomelo.
Oh, pomelo. Oh, what is pomelo?
A fruit kind of thing. A citrus food. Fruit.
Oh, fruit. Yes, pomelo. Yeah, what about pomelo?
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah,
don't have
yes,
it.
we love pomelo.
So Yuvnesh, you mentioned some word kuwa banji. What is that?
Okay, kuah banji, which means a mixture of curries. Okay, example, you have a plate, a rice, and then you ask for kuah banji. So kuah banji, which means he'll take a spoon from your dal, from a fish curry, from a chicken curry, from your chicken varuval, all those has gravy, all those food that has gravy, and they'll mix it together and they'll put it on your rice. So that's what they call kuah banji, so that you can have the all that gravy taste at one time. So it is like perfectly blend together. That is what kuah banji.
Then actually in Malaysia, Indian cuisine is really popular as well. Like everywhere you go, you can see there's Indian restaurants. Uh, a lot, including us Chinese, Malays. We love going to the Indian restaurants to have our meal. Because I think I would say majority of Malaysians really like spicy food,
Yeah.
rich with flavors. We all love that. So uh it's really common to see Indian restaurants around in Malaysia.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to all of you. Like in Malaysia, you said you have many Indian restaurants. So, have you ever tried any Indian food or any breakfast?
Oh, definitely. I think because some of us here right now from RCPJ, most of us here actually are Indian. Yeah, I think most of us growing up in Indian households, especially, we eat really similar things to you guys, I think. Our grandmas, our moms still make the curry, the kolumbu, the typical veggies, like all the same thing. It's just that maybe in Malaysia we have our own Malaysian twist in a sense of like we typically don't have Indian breakfast. Like for us, we mainly go for lunch. Banana leaf is like, yeah. So usually for Indian food, we prioritize it for lunchtime. Yeah, that's what I think, like that's the most common one. Or we have like dosa, roti chana, and all that. You can find that very, very common, not in just Indian shops. You have the Indian Muslim shops, which are yeah, you can definitely find Indian cuisine like everywhere.
By the way, is it true?
So
Is it true that you guys eat the other non-veg like cockroach or some?
Sorry?
I can answer that question. I'm pretty sure you can get delicacies around here, but it's not part of our culture, of our everyday food. We normally stick to chicken, fish, beef, egg, and stuff like that. We are not culturally, we do not consume those uh, um, cockroach and stuff like that on a daily basis. Not
is it a common fast food there?
No.
Okay.
no.
Yeah, we don't eat insects and stuff. I've never like maybe in the Sabah and Sarawak, which is the other part,
Yeah.
they do have delicacies for insects, but for us, yeah, we pretty much eat the same. Like, Okay. I see. Okay, because Malaysia is still a developing country. We do have people in the poorer areas, in more rural areas, where we definitely want to take care of as well. So in terms of recycling, I would say we're very selfish and cheap people. So we want to save as much as we can. So we like ration our things a lot in terms of like everything. We call it there's a term for it, very kiam siap. That's a Chinese term to say that we are very, very stingy. But in terms of recycling, like proper recycling, we do have a lot of, I guess you can say if you go to like our village side, which is what we call kampong, it's more to the rural areas, you can actually see a lot of very interesting inventions in the terms of like, you will see things being made out of plastic bottles, very, very common. You can see tires, old car tires being used for like decorations. They make signs out of it, like anything that,
Foundations.
yeah, like just anything can be reused. They will, it's very interesting to see, but then in our culture, I think that generally being Asians, we're all quite we care a lot about the environment and stuff because of religious practices as well, because it teaches us a lot of these kinds of things. So yeah.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think in some states in Malaysia, it's mandatory for you to separate your waste, so that when they come and collect your garbage, they don't just take everything together, and your waste has already been pre-separated into your organic waste, the plastic, the aluminium, the rubber, and stuff like that. So yeah, just to add to that.
Okay, thank you so much. Last question I want to ask, like describe your country in 3 words.
Can we have maybe Narina answering that, or Stephanie?
I would say okay, in 3 words. I would say unity, because like we mentioned earlier, there are a lot of races in our country, not only the 3 main races but also other minorities as well. And I would say delicious because of the food. And yeah, I'll just add on, if you ever visit Malaysia or if you live in Malaysia, you will never succeed in going on a diet because the food here is too good. And I will also say that if you look past all the the issues and problems we are facing, our country is actually quite beautiful with all the landscapes and all the historical sites, especially when you visit like Malacca, where there are a lot of historical sites that you can go to, you can read about the history there. And yeah, that's what I can describe our country.
Yes, this has been implemented here as well. Like Lydia has mentioned one thing. So even here, like bags have to be paid for if we need one.
I think ours has been going on for quite a few years already, like since 10 years. I think they charge us, yeah. You don't
And
need
then,
to, yeah.
20 cents for a plastic bag. Yeah.
okay, actually besides that, now in Malaysia is quite popular that everyone is using the stainless steel straw. Even like restaurants, coffee shops, they do have plastic straws, but in normal circumstances they don't provide anymore. And then another drinks is really popular in Malaysia is boba. We love that. And then whenever we buy boba, it's really common that we use our own straw as well. If we don't have our own straw, they actually provide like a paper straw, which is more eco-friendly. So that's one of the really great improvement that Malaysia is actually having. Yeah.
What is boba?
Even I support you. The boba tea is
Boba.
best.
Yeah, is it those with some
Boba.
pearl like?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The
Bubble
tapioca
tea, bubble
pearls.
tea.
Yeah, it originates from Taiwan actually, but then Malaysia is just a hotspot for everything around the world. Like any shop from any place in the world you want to find, you can find it here.
Yes.
Yeah, like China's very famous mala. So mala is like numb and spicy, and then they cook it with like Maggi, like instant noodles, and then they add a lot of different things. Yeah, it's a Chinese thing, but don't know how it came to Malaysia and everyone is eating it.
I love mala. Fan of mala.
Fun spice.
Just to add on, speaking about boba, there was actually a boba street in our country where like it's a whole street of boba shops. So when you go there, when you visit that place, you will see like a lot of people queuing up just to buy boba from different shops. So if you ever visit here, you can go visit that place.
Sure.
I tried this boba tea in US and I still miss that boba tea. It's one of the best drink I have ever had.
So yeah, I have a question. Like, I'm a photographer and love exploring places. So, is there any places in Malaysia that we can explore? Very iconic places, a tourist attraction. Like,
I think
Actually,
oh,
I actually wanted to recommend Batu Cave.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you
Okay,
go
so
on.
Batu
any
Caves is actually
special part about that place? Like, you can like have a gist about that.
yeah, so actually Batu Caves is a temple. It's a Hindu temple. It's a huge temple. It has the tallest what statue is it, Yovanish? In like it's made out of clay.
It's Lord Muruga.
Yeah, Lord Muruga's statue is the tallest. Like you can always see it everywhere. Like Malaysians are very proud of Batu Caves. There we have the rainbow steps where if you climb up, there's a whole shrine of other gods there. And if you walk further down, there's a smaller temple. There's just basically a very religious place that everybody wants to go. Everybody is welcome there, of course, but it's somewhere that Malaysians could say that they're very proud of despite their race. It doesn't matter because Batu Caves is a very iconic place. It's a very meaningful temple to all of us despite our religions.
It is also the oldest lime cave in Malaysia. That's a quite
Sanjay, you
interesting
are on
fact
mute.
about that.
It is a big statue carved in
Hello?
between a mountain, right? A golden one.
Yeah.
I see it. Nice.
Yeah. But that's just one of the there's like I think Malaysia has very rich history in terms of being colonized. So Malacca will be actually a really good spot as well. That's if you don't want to come to too much of the city side. Malacca is still a city, but just slightly more authentic to Malaysian times. Where we had like the Portuguese church, the Red Church they call it. It's beautiful. Many couples go there to take their wedding picture.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you want to get the full experience, we used to have a transportation called the Becha. It's like I don't really know how to explain it actually. It's like someone's on a bike. Yeah, that's what it is. But we have like so if you want to experience that, you gotta go to Malacca, and it's just really beautiful because locals will treat anyone with because they just really want to make you feel welcome. Yeah.
Hello.
Another thing about Malacca is there's actually this culture is called Baba Nyonya.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of like the specialty in Malaysia. Baba Nyonya is basically like combination between Chinese and is it Muslim?
No, authentic Malay culture.
Yeah, okay, that is not Muslim, the Malay culture. So they speak both Mandarin and Malay. So I do know some Baba Nyonya people. So like actually when you have conversation with them, they are constantly like mixing two language together. And they're actually famous for their like food as well. Or their kueh mueh. How do you translate kueh mueh in English?
Laksa.
Pastries.
Yeah, pastries.
Yeah.
Desserts like
Desserts,
jelly-ish desserts.
Yeah.
Mushy desserts. Yeah.
And they have really nice traditional costume as well.
It's similar to Malay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girls one is baju kebaya.
since we have got to know a lot about the places to roam and a lot of food to eat, I think Rotaract Suncity, we should plan a trip to Malaysia now.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Actually,
Go
Sanjay, I'm gonna
Sanjay.
tell you that. मतलब मैं आपको बोलने वाला था ये.
Yeah, so as soon as
Let's
this
plan a trip to
COVID
Malaysia.
is over, we should plan
Chasing the
something.
seasons.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Where are Andrea, Ethan, Derek?
Oh, okay. So actually, Andrea and Ethan couldn't make it tonight because, like I said, we actually have a lot of projects that we're trying to squeeze in before the year ends. So they had to go for a meeting regarding that project. As for Derek, he's now a working man. He's very, very busy. So he has to report for a job tomorrow.
Okay, but it's still good to see so many of you all like, joining in. It's great.
Yep.
So I just wanted to ask, are there any Malayali people over here or in your club?
Yeah, I am Malayali, half Malayali actually.
Okay, so today is Onam, right?
Yes,
So
happy
is it,
Onam.
do you guys celebrate over there also?
Yeah, yes. Normally, my grandparents and my aunties, they'll be cooking Onam Sadhya for lunch. But like this year, since there are like a few people in my family, especially my grandparents and my great grandmother, that they are not so well. This year we didn't plan anything much, and most of my family just went out for lunch today. Yeah,
Happy Onam to you.
Happy Onam.
thank you.
Whenever I connect with this club, I feel like I'm talking to Indians. Like I feel
Yeah,
that
because there are so many Indians over there. Like it doesn't feel this difference.
plus there is a lot of similarities between Malaysian and Indians. Like,
Yeah, there is because our Indian culture here is also very strong.
yeah. So yeah, Rina, go ahead. I think we are done with the questions. We had a lot of information from them.
Actually.
So yeah.
Great. So yeah, the activity is just a mini thing. We would like to know which one is the fourth post on your club's Instagram social media handle and the story behind it.
A story behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I need to go check it.
So because today is 31st, 3 plus 1 is 4. It was just a random number. So fourth post on your Instagram, club's Instagram handle.
Oh, okay. So our fourth post was actually a project that we did during the MCO when it all started, which is the lockdown basically. So Malaysians has to stay home. We can't really go out much, and so many of us depended a lot on food deliveries. So what our club decided to do was show some appreciation because we consider them frontliners as well, not just the doctors and nurses, but these people are constantly on the road because that was where it's peak, where everybody was just like ordering food because we were all too scared to go out. So our club took the initiative to have this project local where we order the food, but we call the riders and tell them like the food is actually for them to take home to their families. And yeah, they get to keep the food basically, but we pay it for them.
Oh wow, that's a beautiful concept.
Was it followed by a fundraising project?
Yeah, so actually we fundraised it by raising awareness through social media, and we got a lot of help and support from our Rotarians, especially. I think they really believed in our project, and we were actually nominated for it to win it for one of the Rotaract Year Awards.
Nice to hear
Yeah.
that. Good job.
Thank you.
You can teach us your language. Some two, 3 words so we can use when we will visit to your country.
Oh, Joe.
Malay. We teach Malay. The national
Malay. Okay, Malay.
Anish, would you like to teach some?
Yeah, what would be
I think the simple ones we can like start off with is like terima kasih, which is thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, but then
I learned
actually
this thing, terima kasih.
It was Indonesian.
It was Indonesian, yeah.
yeah, actually, okay. Our name Malaysia Malay in Indonesian means runaways. Technically, our country is it's all stolen land, lah, actually. So most of our culture and Indonesia's culture, Malays and Indonesians are basically the same thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that's why our language, if you listen, it's almost the same. Yeah,
Hey,
so
Akshwin here. Akshwin, hi, hello.
Yeah, actually, if I could add to that, Bahasa Melayu actually is, in my opinion, is a combination of many languages that they have Malayfied such words and made it to be our national language. For example, if I'm not mistaken, there are actually a lot of Sanskrit words that are now considered Malay words, but actually, if you read like the Sanskrit language, you would find a lot of the words are similar to Malay words. So the language itself is actually a combination of a few languages, and there are a lot of even there are words from English that are now yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to Chinese, there are a lot of Chinese words. Normally we don't write it because it's not that what they call that. It's not that correct. Yeah, but there are a lot of words that is adapted from both Malay and mostly Malay. Yeah, a lot of Malay words that turn into Chinese. Yeah, I think that only happened in Malaysia. Like other countries, not really. Yeah.
Funny thing is, I uploaded that post and I was checking because I don't remember stuff. So yeah, so I think it's Belly Bolly. You can guys check out it later. So Belly Bolly was conducted yesterday. It was a belly dancing workshop, which was conducted by a trainer called Ashwini Tonlekar. So it was a fundraiser event. We conducted this workshop and raised funds, almost like 7,000. So it will be used for our community service projects. So that was about yesterday, Belly Bolly.
So one thing I would like to know about your district. See, is there any kind of major project your district conducts?
Yeah, as of for this district, which is District 3300, we are actually focusing, like I said, we have a lot of rural areas in Malaysia prior to, instead of just like, there are city lives, but it's actually very, very rare as compared to the authenticity of Malaysia. So that we are actually having a project where what we have called the origin natives of the land before we colonized it are the Orang Asals, which means original people to translate. Yeah, so what we are doing for them, the thing about these people is they prefer to live nomadic, or they just prefer to stay in the olden times. They preserve their traditional values very closely. So they often are found in forests or jungles with their little houses and whatnot. So what we are doing is we are trying to, not to say modernize them, but provide them with better living conditions, because it's not always clean in the areas that they are in. So what our district is focusing on is actually providing them cleaner water, providing them more opportunities to receive education, better housing. Yeah, especially our
Hygiene.
club kind of initiated it in the sense of like we had this water project, which is also ongoing right now, where we provide clean water to Orang Asals.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add to that, like Lavinia said, it's a district project now, but our club has been very involved in like providing a better lifestyle to the Orang Asal community. I think a few years back, the club had a project in one of the local Orang Asal villages to build a chicken coop for that village and provide them with I think, was it, if I'm not mistaken, a few chickens and goats, so that not only for their self sustenance, but for them to rear the chickens and sell it as a business as well, for them to get income. And then we follow that up with the water project that Lavinia said is going on. So originally it was our club project, now we are working together with the district to so that we would have more funds to make this project a better project and more resources for us to help more people in the community. Yeah, so that's one of the main projects that our district is taking. Also, this year our district has like decided for all the clubs in district 3300 to collaborate with other clubs for different projects. So there are certain projects that like two clubs would be planning together and collaborating to especially with community service projects to help better the community and the environment and stuff like that. So in terms of our district, yeah, that's what the district plans for this year.
And how about IC wise and ID wise? Do you all conduct these from a club or district?
Youth
Inter-club
exchange
youth
program.
exchange.
Sorry, what is IC?
ICYE, Inter-club youth exchange.
Oh, I don't think we actually implement. We have yeah,
we
we
have
don't.
Raila.
Yeah, Raila.
Youth leadership. I forget what the A is. It's like I'm not too sure what it is actually because I've never been for it before. But if I'm not mistaken, it's like a youth program where like
Leadership, youth leadership. We have it
yeah,
here. So you don't have IC wise and ID wise?
No.
We do have we do like have like a not really a student exchange, but like our Rotary Club is like a partner with few Rotary clubs around Asia, and I think there's one club in Europe. So normally, if I'm not mistaken, one of the clubs one year they would send members Rotaractors to Malaysia, and the next year our club would send Rotaractors to their country.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, this year because of like COVID and like the borders, some borders still being shut, this project is not going on anymore. But in terms of like international relations with them, I think if I'm not mistaken, our Rotary Club is still trying to like engage us with their Rotaractors from one of these 8 clubs that they have a partnership with. If I'm not mistaken, one of the clubs is the Rotary Club of Bangalore, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It's I guess you're telling about the youth exchange program which is conducted by the Rotary, and they are the student exchange program basically, and the students coming from the other country are staying with the Rotarians and that all things, right?
Yes.
Great. So now I would like to ask, how do we wish you all a happy Independence Day in your language?
We say as Selamat Hari Merdeka.
Okay. Salamat.
Just
Hari
put in
Merdeka.
chat.
Yeah, just type in the chat. It will be better. Salamat Hari
Hari Merdeka.
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 Do it. On your mark. Wait.
1, 2, 3.
Salamat
Merdeka.
To all of you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We had a lot of fun tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much for reaching out to us. We definitely enjoyed this tonight.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. It's been a great
Thank
experience
you.
with you guys.